the film Logan's Run or any of these films where people have a bar code stamped to their neck or a chip inserted in their arm or some other thing, right?
Yep.
Okay, the only thing that's missing is the bar. The only thing that's missing is the chip. You are the legal property of the private corporation known as the Commonwealth of Australia, registered in the District of Columbia in the United States. You are the property of that corporation. You are owned by that corporation. That private, and I say the word very carefully, that private corporation.
So who owns these corporations that we think of as countries?
Well, the ruling elite.
So how does the third world fit into this, or countries where a birth certificate is not issued? And
well, they're trying to extend it to the third world, but really the value of people in the third world from the perspective of the ruling elite is not that high. Because you've been educated, you see, think of you as yourself as being, in their eyes, as being nothing more than a robot, yeah? Just something that potentially can produce things for them, that produces energy for them. You're like a smart battery. You ever see The Matrix?
yes.
Yeah, well, that's a public notice. That's the ruling elite giving you public notice as to what you are to them. So, but you're a smarter battery than that, and they haven't got themselves to that level. If they could, then that's probably the way the world would look under their system. You're pretty much an energy battery, and they've invested a lot of money in how much energy you can produce because you've gone to school. But in the third world, they've pretty much written off the third world because it's too difficult, because it's hard to police, because there's a lot of investment and so on. They still get so much out of the Western countries, industrialized countries, that up until now they haven't really bothered with the third world. The third world is really just to shift things around where the first world no longer can be effective, price effective.
So let's just go into how people can see this in their own lives.
Well, it's very
I know it's. Like your birth certificate, your driver's license, everything that you receive
open your
from
passport.
Exactly.
You have a P on your passport. That means you're a pauper, you're a peon, you're a prisoner, you're a slave, you're considered a lunatic, you're nothing, you're a battery. You're a battery hen of energy. That's all you are to them. And because you're happy to be that, and because, most people don't care to read or don't believe this, most people, look, there'll be people who listen. A good portion won't believe it, okay? Therefore, reinforce the ruling elite in saying, good on you, you've just self-selected yourself, congratulations, you're still a P. You're still a pauper because you've shown you're a lunatic. Others might get really frustrated by it and say, I want to know, but can't be bothered learning. Congratulations, you've reinforced yourself again as a P, a pauper, a slave. You're just another peon. And then there'll be a small portion, sadly, a very small portion that will hear this and go, I don't actually want to be a slave anymore. I don't want to be a battery. I did see The Matrix and I know what it means. I actually want to wake up. And then they'll go, hopefully, on the journey of learning. But the evidence is overwhelming. It's all around us. Of course it is.
Because most people just have not made that connection yet, that the names of corporations are always in capital letters.
But I'm not too sure if they don't know. Look,
well, it was a shock to me when I first found out.
I remember how nice life appeared to me growing up. I grew up in a quite comfortable home, and so I was very blessed by that. And I look back at that and think, why didn't I take more advantage of how comfortable that life was? So I frequently look back with rose-coloured glasses to my childhood and think, wow, if only life could be as simple as that. So I don't really begrudge anyone who, like that character in The Matrix, just wanted to be put back into the matrix. Remember the
Yes.
the traitor?
One who wanted to stake.
Yeah, just wanted to. And a lot of people, unfortunately, do fit the profile of being traitors because really, at the end of the day, they just want to go back to the way things were. They may have been a successful small business owner that got absolutely slammed by the ATO, the Australian Taxation Office. And so all they really want to do is just go back to that life if they could. And others similar. I don't begrudge that. I don't begrudge that because the system is in fact geared to prove the falsity under the illusion that ignorance is bliss. The system is designed to actually make that perversion look as if it is a true statement of fact. But the consequence of a system that has treated us like mushrooms, where the rich have ripped off untold amounts of wealth from us and burden us with debt, is the present world we live in, where the system is literally falling apart every single day. And the consequence for us, if we don't wake up, is truly horrific. Truly horrific, because it leaves the ruling elite only one option if we are not willing to come up with some credible alternative and actually stand our ground. And that is literally to press the button to reset the whole damn thing.
Haven't they tried to do that before? I mean, haven't they done that before? Don't they have their own... The Roman cult has its own cycles. I mean, we're talking about, 2012 being the end of many, many, many cycles, but the Roman cult has its own spiritual or occult cycles that it lives by as well, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and we're right in the middle of it. I mean, 2012 is a Roman date. You can't get any more central than that. I mean, when people think of 2012 and they think, well, what does Rome think about it? Well, 2012 is in Roman time, so that tells you how serious they view this, because it's their time system.
Well, what does 2012 represent to them?
Well, it represents one of two things. Either the world will demonstrate a renewal and people will wake up and there will be a change and there will be a competence, in which case that is the mandate that is the justification for the world to evolve, or the mass of people will show themselves in the eyes of the ruling elite to be unworthy because they want to remain as ignorant and stupid batteries, in which case that will be the justification for ultimately pressing the ultimate button.
So hang on, are you saying that the Roman cult has known, they would have known for many, many years, that 2012 represented a time when humanity had the opportunity to wake up and step up, and if we did, they're prepared to step back and let go of what they've worked for all of these hundreds of years?
Well, that would be the fulfillment of all prophecy, but one way or the other, it's the end of the world, isn't it? I mean, it's either the end of the world...
It's either the end of theirs or the end of ours.
Sure, it'd be one of those. That's the only two choices there are.
But they're not going to just let it all go like that, are they? Wouldn't they? They're going to go down fighting, surely.
Well, it's totally in our hands. I mean, at the moment, and you're right, the number of people waking up is unprecedented. But we're talking about a fraction of society. Like,
yeah, I know.
Look, tonight, how many people in Australia tonight know that they are the property of a private corporation known as the Commonwealth of Australia, registered in the United States? And how many of them would actually care? That's the real scary part, if they found that out. Well, the answer is less than 1% no, and if they were told, probably less than 3% would care. Well, that's not enough to save the world. That pretty much means that 97% of those that are the ruling elite call them the useless eaters. That's what they're called, useless eaters. The useless eaters will condemn us to the other option.
So when you say the button, what do you mean?
I mean every single tool of Armageddon. Every tool of Armageddon.